Hip Hop TXL, the exclusive list.
You are now tuned in to hiphoptxl.com/radio, hosted by DJ Reddy Rell and Kash Johns, sponsored by Highly Unique Radio and Winter Circle Publishing. We got Atlantic Records' own Success Reddy. He's about to school you on the game and how to be effective with your music career. Let's get into it. Signing in TXL Radio, DJ Reddy Rell. I'm on a line right now with Success Reddy from Atlantic Records A&R, straight out of Atlantic Records. What's going on, Success?
Oh, man, just moving, shaking, man. You know, I'm just up here in New York trying to get it done, man. How everything going with you?
Everything is good, man, you know?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, what is your position at the label and what do you do exactly? Just to let the people know.
Okay, so yes, right now I'm Director of A&R. And pretty much what that means is I do things from, find talent to the label, develop it, recruit different songwriters and producers, and actually go in the studio and create records for artists that are on the label, whether I sign them or not. I'm also a records guy, so I'm a guy that goes out and finds records and creates records and brings them back to everybody. So somebody might, we might have signed a dope artist, but they didn't have that single that was ready to go. So because I'm always out in the street and eyes and ears open, I might find, I might hear something and come back and deliver it on another artist, and it become that top 10 single, and so forth. So that's pretty much what my job description is: Director of A&R here at Atlantic. But I do a bunch of different things, but mainly look for talent, sign it, discover it, develop it, and go in the studio and work on those records. And, we also work on mixtapes, and we work on EPs and LPs and, soundtracks. All of these things fall under my job description here in Atlantic.
Got you. So, the next question I want to ask you is, what made you get into the business side of music? What made you get serious about it? How'd you get started with everything and just said, you know what, I'm going to do this as a profession because, I believe in myself and this is, what I want to do.
So basically I went to, I'm going to just take you on a quick story. I went to FAMU. I'm from Chicago originally, born and raised. When I went to college, I went down to Tallahassee. The Tallahassee started a rap group. So I used to rap back in the day, and we was running around Florida and back and forth to Atlanta and New Orleans. You name it, and we was there. We was called Street Team Entertainment. At the time, T-Pain, his pops had a group called Nappy Head, and we had Street Team. So yeah, exactly. So we was running around together doing shows. And anytime anybody came to FAMU or Florida State, which was right down the block, we was opening for them. We had a couple songs at radio down there. Jermaine Dupri had flew us to Atlanta one time for this competition, as we had won. And, so we was grinding. But then at some point I realized that I was better at making the plays behind the scenes. So I started doing the money for the show bookings and scheduling and, strategizing on, touring and all of the different administrative and managerial things as opposed to being out on the stage. And, not saying I wasn't dope or rapper, but I just found myself being more attracted to the behind the scenes side. I started doing that. Fast forward, when I finished school, I came to New York. And when I got to New York, pretty much because I was from Chicago, I had relationships. Around that time, Kanye West had just came to New York. I knew him. So we was connecting, and then Kanye started to blow up. So then people were looking for that sound. He was brought up as a producer first. So when people, Rockefeller had him signed up. But because I was around, people was like, yo, if I can't get Kanye, I want some of the other producers with that same sound. So I became the liaison between the producers who had that sound like Blueprint 1 and 2 and the labels. And then I was a hustler too. I was selling sneakers. So it was funny because people would know me as the dude hustling beats and sneakers, pretty much.
Okay.
So, yeah, did that, worked that. It was no Instagram, it wasn't no Twitter, but I was always smart about networking and find out who's who and building my relationships and with executives and A&Rs and producers and artists directly. So long story short, I went from managing producers, then started managing songwriters, then started managing artists. While I was managing artists, a couple of the labels kind of caught wind of what I was doing, and the chairman of Atlantic, Craig Kalman, had kind of recruited me and was like, hey, I've been seeing you moving around and making plays. I would love for you to be a part of my team. And 5 years later, here I am.
That's crazy. So what kind of sneakers did you have? You had them all? You had the legit joints, or you were selling the bootleg?
Yeah, no, I had the legit joints before everybody was doing this reselling. I just had those, I knew where to get them. You know what I'm saying? I was a sneakerhead, and back then I was heavy on Dunks. I had been doing Air Force Ones for like 15, 20 years, so it was kind of past that. And then this was before everybody was doing all them fake Jordans and all that. I had the retro Jordans too early. So I would, so rappers and producers, they would be calling me, and I would come through and sell them some kicks, and then I'll play some beats and, rounds to the business.
Gotcha. I mean, that sounds like an effective way. Everybody wants the plug on the sneakers.
Exactly.
So you had a few angles going on.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Let's get into the other side of things. How could some of these artists get in contact with someone like you, and how could some of these artists get the attention of success and any other A&R or manager out there who's looking for talent? How can they impress you?
Yeah, so I think nowadays it's I'm not gonna say it's easier, but nowadays artists can really get it from wherever they at. You know what I'm saying? It's not like back in the day when I was in Chicago or in Tallahassee and the industry was happening up in New York or in LA and I'm in Florida. Nowadays with obviously the internet and all of this social media, artists like Kodak Black out of Florida can get out of jail and start this whole campaign and be on, be discovered and everybody talking about them. And, it's just kind of, you got to make the best with what you have, man. And if that means you got the net, you got some, you got these websites where you can get beats, hopefully people know, like producers, that they can get in touch with to get production and go in the studio and record. But if not, nowadays they got websites where you can lease and borrow tracks and you can record on a home studio, or you can go to your local studio, record, and then you have the option to put it out. You can put it out on YouTube, you can put it out on SoundCloud, you can put it out, you got people that are breaking off of Vine and Tumblr and all of these different platforms, Facebook, just to get people get it out. And my job is to find it. If you put it out and it's quality, we'll find it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on there every day looking to see who people are connecting with. I still go out to the showcases and I still go to different cities and, take meetings and go to shows and go to festivals. But a big part of it is online nowadays. And so I have research guys that sit in the office and they research every day, all day, and they find what's moving on iTunes or what's streaming crazy on Spotify or what's Shazamming in a strip club in Atlanta. 200 people Shazam this new song and it popped up. So my research guys are the first that's finding that. And they bring it to us like, yo, check out this. So all of those different networks and platforms are out there for any artist that's looking to get discovered. And trust me, we'll get discovered. I have people in each city that I check in with weekly and just say, what's popping in your neck of the woods? What's going on? What's moving? What are people talking about? Who are people going to the show to see? All of these things. So it's really, there's no excuses now. Like, people can, just put it out there. I get people that kind of stalk my socials too, and they send me links, my DMs and all of that. And I don't have a problem with it. Just don't OD. Like, I have people that literally every hour sends me these blasts, and so I'm not with that. But I have no problem with somebody hitting me like, yo, check out this new video I dropped. Here's a link. I actually will watch it. Sometimes I'll give out my email and let people send it. People hit me on Twitter and all that too. So, whatever, just be smart about it, man. And that's all I can say. We'll find you. If you're doing what you're supposed to do and making an impact, we'll find you, or you'll find me.
Just get the quality out there. And if you're gonna reach out, have something behind it. Respectful. Have some feeling and some knowledge behind it. Like, actually know who you're talking to, I guess. in a way of saying it.
Definitely. Do your research. Exactly. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. When I was doing it, there was no Instagram, so I didn't know what these people look like. I didn't know who A&Rs were. I had to learn that the hard way. Nowadays, you can go online and Google me and be like, oh shit, oh man, that's the dude Success. I can go find him. Oh, I just seen him he was at South by Southwest, or I just saw him on a panel, or I just, So nowadays you can find people if you do your research. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what advice I could give.
All right. So, before we sign out, just tell them a little bit about, where they can find you at, your social networks. Maybe, tell them about somebody to check out who you messing with right now.
Okay. So, I'm Success Reddy, SuccessReady on Twitter, Success Reddy on IG. Those are the main two platforms where I'm at. As far as artists, there's the kid I mentioned, Cranium, dope reggae artist here in New York. Had a huge record last year. Had a Major Lazer remix. And then he's super dope. So we can ready to start rolling out his new projects, new singles. So check out Cranium with a K.
Cranium. What's his Twitter?
Cranium. It's at Cranium.
Oh, at Cranium. Okay.
Yeah, KRANIUM.
Okay.
New kid, I just picked up Marco Penn, who's super dope. And that's Marco MarkoPenn. So he's currently featured on Bob's new single called Roll Up. He's on the hook. He wrote and co-produced that record. So check out Marco on B.O.B.'s single. And then he's got some dope records that we get ready to start putting out on him too. So keep an eye out on Marco. I mentioned a young lady, Raven Lene, out of Chicago. RAVYN. Check her out. She's dope. Pitchfork did a big article on her. So she's 18-year-old selling out House of Blues and all of that kind of stuff. So definitely check out Raven. There's a young lady, Janine, in the mixtape, who signed to Atlantic from New Zealand by way of Brooklyn. Working on her EP. Check her out. And her name is Janine in the mixtape, or JXTM is also, she's also referred to as JXTM. So check her out. And then a couple of the things I'm looking at that I can't speak on just yet, but yeah, man, just really excited about, what the next few months is going to bring. And yeah, feeling real good about where the music is going too. So definitely looking for all the artists. Get at me and let's get it.
Okay. You heard him, man. He ain't hard to find, man. So we gonna get this show going, man. Success. Thank you for, coming out here and support, man, and letting these artists know. Let's get into it, man. New audio push. TXL Radio. Mondays 2 to 4. Every Monday 2 to 4. Let's get it.
I just feel like we gotta go in.
DJ Reddy Rell.